through your training and stuff, you manage to learn how to distinguish who's who. Um, with that, though, being in combat has taught me about life, taught me the value of life, taught me the value of humans, about what it means to be a good human to another person. You see the worst of the worst when you're in combat, and it makes you want to be a better person. It affects you in ways that you just would never expect. Some of the negatives I've had dealt with post-traumatic stress a long time, but I had to learn healthy ways of dealing with that. But through that, it's helped me learn how to know that no matter how stressed out I am, nothing is bad as combat. No matter what I do from day to day, nothing will be ever be as bad as being shot at, being blown up, anything of that nature. But to me, like, it was just something I've always wanted to do. You know, Marine Corps I knew was the best at the time. I still think it's the best. Not that the other branches don't have their characters, but you know, we all have that inner service rivalry. But it's something I've always wanted to do, and it kept me having a drive and a purpose in life. It taught me life skills. It taught me how to survive. It taught me how to be a good human to others, how to network with each other, how to actually speak and listen, actually. And listen a lot, too. Teaches you discipline and gives you a sense of purpose. My purpose was a little different than everybody else's, but it gives you a sense of purpose and kind of guides you on where you want to go in life. So after the Marine Corps, I got out and I was looking for a way to continue serving my country. So I went back overseas as a security contractor, as a civilian, protecting U.S. diplomats in Afghanistan. It's kind of like bodyguard work almost. A little more high profile though. You're wearing a lot of the same gear that you wore when you're in the military. Did that for about 2 years, and then I was recruited to go on a different security program by the Central Intelligence Agency. So I spent about roughly around 15 years roughly with them. I can't go into great detail about that, but a lot of it was same kind of work. My military career projected me towards that field. It gave me a life skill that I can never say thank you enough to the military for that, especially the Marine Corps. From that point on, got out in March 2020. I resigned, and now I work as a protective specialist for a high net worth family out of Fort Smith. I handle all of their corporate security, all of their close protection, things of that nature. So it's very similar to the work I've been doing overseas, just a lot less threatening. So I'll open it up real quick to questions. Anybody? Come on, someone's got one. I know somebody does. Anybody? No? Yes.
One of the more memorable places in a good way that you have been to in service that maybe you go back to for vacation or
So not so much when I was in service in the Marine Corps. I honestly didn't get to see the world like recruiters promise you to see the world. I got to see one portion of the world, Iraq. But after getting out, I got to spend time in about 6 different countries, 3 continents. Some of the places I've been to, Eastern Europe, Ukraine. I've gone back there quite a bit to visit. Macedonia is one of my favorite places. Kenya, served in Kenya. Served in Libya for about 6 months, much like Iraq and other places, unfortunately. But through my travels, though, I got to meet people, other cultures, gave me a different perspective of life, and to just know that not everything's about Americans. Not everything's about us right here. It is to a certain extent, but it's taught me about cultures, about how to be a better human, how to be good to one another, and not let things divide us. Because we're all the same in this world. We all put our pants on the same thing as people overseas. They struggle with the same stuff we do here in America. They just live a different life. So that's one thing that's learned from it. So, anybody else? No? All right, I have a question for you guys. Is anybody in here thinking about joining the military? In the Air Force? Okay. What is it that you were thinking about? Like, why would you want to join, serve? Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. That's one thing all the branches of the military will do for you, is get you out of your comfort zone and keep you out of that comfort zone. You'll learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So, yeah, that's very good. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, you're scared to a certain extent, but you allow your training. They teach you, that's what boot camp teaches you, mental fortitude and how to be tough mentally, how to keep pushing through, and knowing that if you don't keep going, someone's life will be, taken, unfortunately. Yours or the people next to you or innocent civilians and stuff. But yeah, of course you're scared. I think being scared actually keeps you alive in life in general. Everything's going to scare us. There's something that's going to scare everybody. It's just the point, do you let it consume you and let it control you, or do you keep pushing past it and learn from it? So I learned from it. So. Anybody else? No? All right. Keep it short. All right, thank you guys.
All right, everyone, please help me by welcoming Sergeant Ray Medley in the Army.
Okay, so obviously I am Staff Sergeant Ray Medley with the Army National Guard. Am I supposed to have this? You're supposed to stand up. Oh, okay. Not bad. So, many of you know me, some of you don't, so this It was the worst of times and it was the best of times. Danger around every corner. Obviously, the Taliban was a much different enemy than Al Qaeda. They were not hiding anywhere. They were very much walking around, in groups of 15 to 30 of them. They did not hide. They very much wanted you to know they were there. They were kind of like bullies or members of like a gang here in America almost. But yeah, I did something very similar to Corporal Charles over there. I was a PSD team leader, so personal security detail. That's what that stands for. And we just escorted some dignitaries, some politicians. An ag-ri team was our primary effort around Afghanistan, so they could teach farmers how to grow crops, put on free dental clinics and medical clinics, and educate young kids, girls, mainly, because in that country it's like a fifth or sixth world country. Obviously, education is not at the top of their list. So girls were the last priority, if any priority. They would probably prefer they didn't get educated. So that was a big deal to us that we made that difference, that we provided that security so we could have those girls go in there and get an education they may not have gotten. All of the children, but the girls thing was big for us because we knew they couldn't get it any other way. So I did that. I managed to escape with my sanity and my fingers and my toes and everything. And shortly after that, I got back. I got a new MOS, field artillery, started driving around Fort Smith, Fort Chaffee, right down the road, blowing stuff up, shooting rockets at the side of this mountain. Fast forward 5 years. My platoon sergeant says you should be a recruiter. I'm like, no, I shouldn't. He's like, no, you should. It's pretty much what you do already. And I'm like, how? I sell cars. He's like, it's the same thing. I'm like, okay. Took his word for it. That was the best thing I ever did. The thing I love about the military is you always join for one reason in the beginning, and then it ends up taking crazy turns, and why you stay is something else. So it led me over the course of 18 years to literally right in front of you right now, to working at Har-Ber High School, on a weekly basis, to interacting with y'all, to providing people like myself and some that didn't have similar backgrounds opportunities that they may not have otherwise had. So a better way, opening their eyes to what the military is, what it's not, and showing them that maybe this is something for them. And definitely, if you know me, it's nothing like what you think it is right now. So that is a really, really scattered, crazy little turn there in a nutshell, but that was my almost 20 years. So, questions, comments, concerns? No questions. You guys have already asked me enough. Like, when am I bringing some more bangs? That's tomorrow at lunch. Yes.
Are you still good friends with the people you training?
Oh yeah. To this day, I've got many friends still over there. As Corporal Charles will tell you too. That kind of bond you build with people like that. I mean, you got friends right now, and I'm not saying they're not friends. I'm sure they're your best friends, but there's something different about that. Even the people that you don't like you genuinely, this kind of person that you can't really deal with, you don't really care for their personality, but when you get back, you do anything for that person. Like, that person literally called you in a crisis mode in the middle of the night, you would drop everything and do that. Those are the kind of friends you really have. Stuff out of movies, but it's factual. So yeah, no, I'm definitely friends with those people. Matter of fact, I'm such good friends with them. I put one of their kids in the National Guard. Cooper Tisovich last year graduated from here. His dad was one of my best friends and mentors in Iraq. Anybody else got any other questions? Yes.
What was your favorite weapon to shoot?
50 cal. Duh. Of course. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a machine gun that can knock down a wall. It's awesome. Yeah, I could go on all day. It's not even close. I mean, obviously we like guns. I mean, if you don't already like guns, you'll figure out how to like guns. But yeah, no, that's the funnest by far and away. It'll. I was trying to think of what even I could compare it to, like a second place. Maybe the M4 or 249, but man, there's something about that 50, dude, just opening up. It's crazy. Just seeing those shells, you know, the size of cigars flying. There's something about it, man. I don't even know. What else y'all got?
I actually have a question for you. What's your biggest life lesson that you learned from serving?
Okay, so that's a great question. And that's not even a hard one for me to answer. The biggest life lesson. Okay, so coming from the background I came from in Springdale, you know, and it is what it is. I look at life like now in reflection. Life is like kind of like Monopoly. You know, you are where you are in the beginning, right? But what you make of it and where you end up is all up to you. So, you know, I never met my dad. My mom was not much of a parent. She was never home. That's kind of how we ended up the way we were. We could do whatever we wanted, and that was a horrible thing. But after a while, you know, I started to get really, really discouraged when I was younger. I had a bunch of learning disabilities. I was in a bunch of resource classes. Coach Benson can tell you that I was rough. So there was only one thing I was good at, though. From the time I had my earliest memories to this very day, there's only one, you know, really good skill I had, and that was the ability to influence people. So scary good at it, to the point where it was almost magical. And as I got older, I sharpened it, I honed it, I could control it more. And as time went on, I would use it to make people do really, really bad things, and just for my amusement. So the biggest life lesson I got from that, it never really occurred to me till a couple of years after I was in the Army National Guard, that I could use that same power and turn it around for a force of good. So I think I would say that life lesson I learned is whatever talents, gifts you have, curses you might see yourself with right now, there's always a way to flip it and make it a positive, to be a force for good. So that was probably the biggest life lesson, you know, I ever learned from the military, and I probably never would have uncovered it unless I had joined. Anybody else got anything else? All right. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you, advisory kids, for coming. The second period bell will ring in about a minute and a half. So teachers, if you want to take them back to class now, you can, or if you just want to sit here and let them go when the time comes. Thank you.